sleep. Real quick live. So yesterday I said that stuff was going on with my mail. So let me tell you specifically what happened that made me think like I don't know, just put things in question for me. So sometimes you'll get something in the wrong box, and I had a PO box where I moved to in South Dakota because I went overseas, so I had a PO box, so they would hold my mail. I need some action, man. Oh my gosh, that you so good. I definitely need Afro Sheen. I'm about to go sleep. So what happened was when I had gotten back in June to have the laser surgery done in this eye, I didn't actually find it until later because I was running around so much. Like, I was trying to get a DOT physical done, and I wasn't even sure if I was going to be able to go back to work. And I had like requested some disability paperwork and stuff, like a whole bunch of stuff. I just had a lot going on. My eye was still healing, and then I had the laser in this one, which was like really painful. But eventually I got a chance to go through my mail, and I saw a letter that had my PO box on it. Like, it was on the label of the envelope. And then inside of it was like some sort of like home inspection thing. I'm not going to say exactly what it was, right? And it was this address, and there was a business that performed a service, and it said that the PO box on the outside of the letter and on the actual form was my PO box. So I was like, well, that's weird. I was like, why would I don't have a business, so I was like, well, why would this come? I can understand if it got put in my box or got mislabeled, but there was a check inside, and there was like a receipt for like the work done, and on the receipt it said like that business name in my PO box. So that's when I started to worry. I was like, oh, well, does someone have access, to like my mail, my PO box? Because I thought that was strange. So I called up the company that was on the envelope, like it was a mortgage company, and I was like, hey, I got this in the mail. It was labeled to my PO box address. I don't have this PO box anymore. I closed it because I'm back now, so I get the mail in my house, but in my apartment. But when I was talking to the lady, I said, yeah, I got this envelope, and on the inside, like on the check and on the inspection report, it had it listed as that business was my PO box. So she was like, oh, that's strange. She's like, strange. Okay. So she asked me if I could, mail it back, and I did. But before I did, at my job in the office, I showed it to my coworkers in the office, and one of them, we may have been interrupted. Okay, I think we're okay now. Okay, so where I left off there before that phone call came through. So they asked me to mail it back. So I showed it to two people in the office, and I asked one of them to make a photocopy for it, so I have a copy of it, because I don't know what to think of that. Like, I'm like, well, when I got the PO box in August of 2024, I rented it for a year. So the letter came in May, and I was like, well, why would I get something in my PO box because I rented it for a year, but the address of the business and on the check said that it was my PO box, and I was like, I don't have a business, and I was like, so what does that mean? So I just made the copy of it, and then like I made a report because I don't really know what to think of that. I don't know what to do. But it's possible, I'm assuming, that someone had access to my mail. I don't know, while I was gone or while I had that PO box. I don't know. I had an incident of there was a guy who would keep coming up to me when I first moved to this town in South Dakota, and he was like asking me questions about the place and who I was renting from, and he did it like more than once. And like just because I had just moved there and I didn't know who he was, I actually went to like the police station and be like, hey, this guy keeps coming up to me. He says he used to stay in the apartment, he used to do work on stuff, and I didn't know. But I eventually just let it go because I ended up going traveling to exercise, to work on my health. Um, but I don't really know what happened with that. I don't know. So that's why I said that yesterday about the mail. But I just made a copy of it, and it was like I don't even know if I should say anything more about it. But it was like a home, and there was some inspection work done on it. I was like, I don't have a home, but I do remember earlier on in this year, I remember I had gotten like a handwritten letter. I think it was from like a church or something like that. It was literally handwritten, and sometimes like because I don't have time, like I'll open like mail, I'll look at it, or I'll get back to it later, but I can't find the letter anymore. I don't know where the letter is. So, I mean, I don't know if someone was trying to give me a home. I highly doubt that, but it's possible. But my assumption was that I was like, well, someone's using my PO box because like it wouldn't be a mistake. It would be a mistake if it was just on the label outside, but it was actually on the paperwork inside. But I was like, I don't have a business, and then the business name, I was like, I definitely don't have that type of business, you know. So I guess we'll see what happens with it. But you know, I was telling you guys yesterday about like my social security number, so you know, I'm a little paranoid sometimes, you know, people and things, because I don't really know what's going on. But that's what happened with that. That's why I said, you know, people stealing your mail. Because I was like, well, how would that get in there with it inside the envelope? You know, because like if someone was trying to give me a house, I figured they would have, you know, sent me a letter or say, hey, you know, do you want a house, or I don't know. So, but I never went over there either. I didn't go over there because I didn't know what it was. But I'm like, I didn't know what to do for a while either, because I was like, well, do I report? I'm like, well, it's not really like a crime. That's why I called like the mortgage company that had, you know, was on the letterhead, because I was like, well, you know, it's not my house, it's not my business. It's just kind of weird that it showed up in my box, like labeled as that. And then you can like report stuff to like the postal service. Like you can like make reports if you think like maybe someone's been in your mail or messing with your mail. You get a package that like I don't understand why I would have got that. You know what I mean? So. Anyway, that's what happened. I gotta go to sleep because I gotta work. Oh, well, let me say what's up to everybody. Sleep, sleep, go to sleep. Oh, yes, mind control. Who's that? You guys know my vision's not that good anymore. It's Lil Tay and Infinite XDD. Sleep, bro, sleep. All right, what's up? All right, I'm going to sleep. See you guys later. Bye-bye.